You're losing weight on Ozempic or Wegovy, but here's what nobody is warning you about. A huge chunk of what you're losing might not be fat. It could be your muscle. And that changes everything. Welcome back, everyone. If you or someone you know is on a GLP-1 medication, that's drugs like Semaglutide, sold as Ozempic or Wegovy, this video is absolutely essential watching. These drugs are genuinely revolutionary. They're helping millions of people lose significant weight. But there's a side of this story that your doctor, your pharmacy, and definitely your social media feed are probably not telling you. Today, we're breaking down the real relationship between GLP-1 drugs and muscle loss, and more importantly, exactly what you need to do about it. Here's what we're covering: what these drugs actually do in your body, why muscle loss is a serious hidden risk, the surprising role of exercise, what kind of exercise actually matters most, and the nutrition non-negotiables you cannot ignore while on these medications. Let's get into it. Segment 1. What GLP-1 drugs actually do. First, a quick science breakdown. Don't worry, I'll keep it simple. GLP-1 stands for glucagon-like peptide 1. It's a hormone your gut naturally releases after you eat. It signals your brain to say, "Hey, we're full. Stop eating." These medications mimic that hormone, but much more powerfully and for much longer. The result? You feel full faster, you eat significantly less, and your body starts burning stored energy, which sounds amazing, right? And it is, to a point. The average person on Wegovy loses around 15% of their total body weight over about 68 weeks. That's genuinely impressive. But here's the counterintuitive truth that most people skip over. When you lose weight rapidly through calorie restriction alone, which is essentially what these drugs create, your body doesn't just burn fat. It also cannibalizes muscle tissue for energy. Studies suggest that without intervention, anywhere from 25 to 40% of the weight lost on these medications could be lean muscle mass. That's not a small deal. That's a massive deal. Segment 2. Why muscle loss is a hidden crisis. Let's talk about why losing muscle while on these drugs is so dangerous and why it flies under the radar. On the scale, you're winning. The number is going down. You feel lighter. But inside your body, something problematic is happening. Muscle is not just about looking toned at the beach. Muscle is your metabolic engine. The more muscle you have, the more calories your body burns at rest. That's called your basal metabolic rate. When you lose significant muscle mass, your metabolism slows down dramatically. This is actually one of the key reasons people regain weight after stopping these medications. They've lost the metabolic horsepower they need to keep weight off long term. Beyond metabolism, muscle loss, the medical term is sarcopenia, leads to weaker bones, increased injury risk, poorer balance, higher blood sugar levels, and worse cardiovascular health. For older adults especially, this isn't just a fitness issue, it's a quality of life and longevity issue. Losing muscle while on GLP-1 drugs without addressing it is essentially trading one health problem for another. Segment 3. The surprising role of exercise. And most people are doing it wrong. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, and where I need to bust a major myth. Most people, when they start losing weight on Ozempic or Wegovy, hit the treadmill. They go for walks. They do cardio. And while cardio is great for your heart and mood, it is almost completely useless at preventing muscle loss. I know, that's not what you expected to hear. The research is crystal clear on this. The only type of exercise that effectively signals your body to preserve and build muscle tissue is resistance training. That means lifting weights, using resistance bands, doing bodyweight exercises like push-ups, squats, and lunges. When you put mechanical stress on your muscles, when you challenge them with load, your body gets the message, this muscle is being used. We need to keep it. Without that signal, especially in a deep caloric deficit created by GLP-1 drugs, your body sees muscle as expendable. A landmark study published in the journal Obesity found that participants on GLP-1 medications who combined the medication with structured resistance training preserved significantly more lean muscle mass than those who only did cardio or no exercise at all. The exercise wasn't optional. It was protective armor for their muscle. So what does a good resistance training routine look like if you're on these medications? Aim for at least 3 sessions per week. Focus on compound movements. Those are exercises that work multiple muscle groups at once, like squats, deadlifts, rows, and presses. You don't need to go heavy if you're a beginner. Consistency and progressive challenge, meaning you gradually increase difficulty over time, matter far more than the amount of weight on the bar. Even 30-minute sessions count. The goal is to send that keep the muscle signal consistently. Segment 4. The protein problem. Nobody talks about. Now let's talk about the #1 nutrition factor that determines whether you keep your muscle or lose it while on GLP-1 medications: protein. And here's the brutal reality. These drugs make you want to eat less of everything, including protein, and that is a serious problem. Protein is the raw material your body uses to build and repair muscle tissue. When you're in a caloric deficit, which these medications enforce, your protein needs actually go up, not down. Yet because you're eating so much less overall, most people on Ozempic and Wegovy are severely under-eating protein. Experts and recent research suggest that people on GLP-1 medications should aim for a minimum of 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. For a 180-pound person, that's roughly 100 to 130 grams of protein daily. Here's a practical hack. Protein should be the first thing on your plate at every single meal. Don't fill up on bread, salad, or sides first. Lead with chicken, fish, Greek yogurt, eggs, cottage cheese, legumes, or a quality protein shake. Because when GLP-1 drugs have already cut your appetite in half, every bite counts. Make those bites do the most important job first. Myth-busting moment. Eating more protein will not make you bulky. That is one of the most persistent and harmful fitness myths out there. High protein intake preserves muscle, supports metabolism, keeps you fuller longer, and actually helps with fat loss. It is the single most protective nutritional strategy you have while on these medications. Segment 5. The big picture. Using these drugs as a tool, not a crutch. Here's the mindset shift I want to leave you with. GLP-1 medications are a powerful tool. Arguably one of the most powerful weight loss tools we've ever had, but tools only work when you use them correctly. If you take Ozempic or Wegovy without pairing it with resistance training and adequate protein, you risk stepping off these medications lighter on the scale but weaker, slower, and more metabolically fragile than when you started. That's the opposite of the goal. The people who are thriving on these medications, losing fat, preserving muscle, maintaining their results long-term, are treating the drug as one piece of a larger lifestyle strategy. They are lifting weights, they are eating their protein, they are building habits that will sustain them whether or not they stay on medication forever. If you're currently on a GLP-1 medication or considering one, please bring this conversation to your doctor. Ask specifically about resistance training and protein targets. Most prescribing physicians are focused on the metabolic and cardiovascular benefits, which are real and significant. But the muscle piece is often completely overlooked in the clinical conversation. You may need to advocate for yourself. The bottom line, the scale going down is not the whole story. How you lose the weight matters just as much as how much you lose. Protect your muscle, lift something heavy, eat your protein, and use these incredible medications the smart way. If this video opened your eyes to something your doctor hasn't mentioned yet, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this information reach more people who need it. Subscribe for weekly videos breaking down the latest in health and fitness science. Drop a comment below telling me your biggest challenge right now, whether you're on GLP-1 medications or just trying to protect your muscle while losing weight. I read every single comment, And check out our video on the best high-protein meals for fat loss. The link is right here. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong.